Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 2024 Student Advocates Conference. I am thrilled all of you could be here to partner with the Indiana Commission for Higher Education. The theme of today's conference is Completion, Beyond Enrollment to Success. You are going to hear from Commission staff on a variety of topics, from college success coaching to outcomes-based performance funding. You're going to learn more about what the Commission is doing and working on to improve completion rates and what helps. Before I turn it over to my talented colleagues, I want to provide a full picture of where we are as a state in terms of college going and completions. The pipeline. The Commission has identified three current strategies and challenges facing higher education in Indiana. First, the college going rate. Second, completions. And third, graduate retention. Our goal is to be a top 10 state by 2030 in the college going rate and in these other areas. Currently, we are far from the top 10 in our college going rate. In fact, for youth, we sit at 37th. We are doing better with adults, sitting at 11th in the nation right now. In 2022, when we began expanding our focus beyond traditional students to include adults, we knew we had to be focusing on all of these categories. Despite an overall improvement in completion, gaps persist. Adult learners, low income, and students from underrepresented populations are less likely to graduate on time than their peers across all campus types. We dove into national data and determined that Indiana ranks 8th in attracting people to come to our state for our colleges and universities. Folks, that is terrific regularly, but we are ranked 40th in retaining talent. Our goal is to work with other sectors and leaders to align education to workforce pathways, supporting the growth of Indiana's economy and our people. Let's dig into the college going rate a bit more. Earlier this year, we released the newest college going rates, which, keep in mind, are already 2 years old. What we have seen is the college going rate has held steady at least since 2020 at 53%. Recent data, and hopefully, is showing that enrollment is up at our public and private universities by over 2%. This is the second year in a row that enrollment has increased. Across all races and ethnicities, we saw a clear gap in college going rates between genders. Women have been increasingly pursuing higher education while men have been going at a lesser rate. That is a challenge we must address. Taking a closer look at the 2022 college going rate data, we can see the following. 13% of students entering high school did not graduate. 41% did not enroll in college after high school. 7% enrolled at an out-of-state college, 7% enrolled at a private institution here in Indiana, 8% at a public 2-year, and 24% at an Indiana 4-year institution. Folks, we have to do better in this regard. Now let's take a closer look at college completion. Looking at Indiana's public institutions, college completion rates, 80% of our students on 4-year main campuses are now completing their degrees within 6 years. Folks, this is tremendous news, and Indiana has been making progress. That number moves to 73% when we include all 4-year campuses across the state. Statewide completion rates today sit at 68% for all of our public institutions. Looking at on-time completions, we have some work to do. Currently, fewer than half, 48%, complete college on time. Now a little bit about the completion demographics. Despite overall improvement in completion rates, gaps persist in certain areas. As an example, our 21st century scholars complete college at a rate of nearly 10% higher than their low-income peers. In that, we find hope. We can do more of what we've been doing with 21st century scholars for all low-income students. When you break down on-time completion by race and ethnicity, you can see there are gaps among marginalized communities. Black Hoosiers complete on time at a rate of 25%. Hispanic or Latino students complete at a rate of 40%. Folks, we must do better. There is also a clear gender gap. 70% of women complete college in an extended period of time compared to 66% of men. Now, what are some of the things we're doing to focus on and improve the completion rate? 2 years ago, or almost 2 years ago, we went to the legislature with a request to change our outcomes-based performance funding formula. The first area of emphasis was to maintain a very firm focus on completion rates. And that now the formula allows the state not only to do that, but also to emphasize other parts of the pipeline and the workforce structure so that we have Hoosiers who are well-trained and educated for our dynamic economy. The new formula is individualized for each public institution by utilizing more recent data and allowing institutions to be measured against themselves. This removes the historical practice of redistributing funds between the institutions and allowing our institutions to be both accountable and incentivized to move the needle. You can learn more about our outcomes-based performance funding formula a little bit later today. Credit for prior learning. This is also a unique approach to help us make headway with completions. The Commission adopted a credit for prior learning policy earlier this year to help adults complete college. Credit for prior learning, if you're not familiar with it, it is an important tool for helping our fellow Hoosier adults further their education and training beyond high school by honoring the work, training, and college-level learning that they have already achieved as adults, and by supporting their post-secondary credential attainment. National research suggests that credit for prior learning not only saves individuals time and money while pursuing a degree or credential, it also leads to powerful, positive student outcomes in terms of enrollment, retention, and credential completion. Folks, my own view is that credit for prior learning honors the learner. It recognizes that training, that learning that has taken place in an adult's life. Some of the statistics around this: there's a 17% increase in credential completion when students are utilizing credit for prior learning. In addition, the average student utilizing credit for prior learning accumulates roughly 17 additional credits earned toward the institution's requirements. There are strong outcomes regardless of race, ethnicity, or income level. The benefits of credit for prior learning are not limited to learners and to the higher education institutions. Considering the broader higher education ecosystem, including industry and community partners, many of whom I know are on this call and in this conference today, are able to help in implementing transparent, consistent credit for prior learning opportunities, not only to support educational attainment, but also for purposes of talent attraction and retention, as well as to optimize the workforce development fundings and strategies of an enterprise. Credit for prior learning is not a new concept within higher education, but frankly, it is a tool that has not been used nearly well enough in Indiana or across the nation. One of the Commission's HOPE agenda goals is to become a top 10 state in the utilization of credit for prior learning. Today, Indiana is the 8th state in the nation to adopt just this year a complete framework to drive this strategy. College success coaches. The Commission and our partners cannot improve Indiana's completion rates alone. It needs to be with our partner institutions and with others who are in our economy. Some of our public colleges have programs that promote completion and success among their students. So do many of our private institutions. Many of those programs utilize the Commission's College Success Grants. The College Success Grant was created to directly assist institutions with the challenges we have spoken about today and that you will dig into more later. The grant provided up to $80,000 of funding to institutions to create a college success coach staff position. Again, both public and private four-year post-secondary educational institutions are able to receive funding through this grant. The Commission awarded over $2.4 million to 22 institutions to fund 32 full-time positions. Folks, I am really excited about this. We have research that we'll talk about today that clearly indicates students need career coaching. These coaches specifically work to support 21st century scholars, first-generation low-income students, and other under-resourced student groups. Examples of completion efforts by our campuses. This is another area where I think we can learn from each other. We have jokingly been saying at the commission for the last year or so that we've implemented an R&D strategy, rip off and duplicate. When we see a good idea from another state, or when we see a campus or a university or college doing something well, we should look at that, we should replicate it, we should duplicate it, and we should spread it as well as possible. I really encourage all of you to do that. So just a few examples. Purdue University, many of you may know, created the Purdue Promise program years ago, where 21st century scholars can receive one-on-one coaching and other resources throughout their time on the campus. Our own Michelle Ashcraft actually led Purdue Promise for about a decade. Indiana University awards the 21st Century Scholars Covenant Scholarship to help scholars bridge the gap between their existing and the remainder of dues, fees, and so forth. Indiana State University runs an early childhood education center for students and faculty with children. This center, which is located on campus, provides childcare and education so that parents can attend classes and complete their degrees. Folks, these are just a few examples of the great work Indiana institutions are doing for their students. You know, Indiana has a ways to go in terms of our going rate, completions, and graduate retention. We could spend all day talking about either one of those, but we are making progress. I will share this with you. Hot off the press, just in recent weeks, Indiana is now ranked 10th in our rate of completion. You know, as our team hears me say oftentimes, I'm pleased, but not satisfied. We've got to do better. Students have to know that they can go and they can complete. And of course, my hope is they'll stay right here in Indiana with all of us. Again, I'm pleased, but not satisfied. But I'm very satisfied with the fact that all of you have chosen to spend time today digging into these challenging issues. By partnering with the Commission, our universities, our businesses, philanthropy, nonprofits, and others, we together will be able to improve student success and completion at institutions across our state. Take it all in as you learn today and ask lots of questions. Some of you know we have developed a strategy called the HOPE Agenda. That stands for Hoosier Opportunities and Possibilities Through Education. And I leave you with this, because you've all gathered here today, the work underway, the light that I'm seeing through your efforts, I'm filled with hope, especially seeing all of you gathered to do this work today. Best wishes, have a great day and upcoming holiday season.